Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. We're going to do a little restification, maybe, I don't know. We're going to figure it out. This happens to be one of the mowers I got over the weekend. Neighborhood scrapper got me out of bed. I gave 10 for this. We looked at it already. Fires off with juice. This recycler I priced at 20. We looked at this. This is going to need juice and the side trap door for that one. So I was happy with how these looked and performed. They'll just need some carb work. Oil change on this. I don't have to change the oil on this 2019. So I figured we'd do a little quick work to this baby 20. I can add it to my pile. I've got two other baby 20s. I think I got them listed at 120 for one with some surface rust, the other one at 140. It's in better condition. So let's raise this table up. Just had a guy that messaged me earlier. He came out, lawn service guy, pickup truck. He had a weed eater, edger, and 2 push mowers. I says, you got a ride or a zero turn? He says, no, I just push. He says, I got an issue with one of them. So initially I thought he came to purchase, but he said one of the machines he uses with a bag, it was running high, and it was a similar plastic engine, what I call it, like this. So I says, well, let's get it down, and I got it down, and I says, start it. I reached under here and moved the tab under here to adjust the governor. I moved it back. Back is slower. If you want to increase RPMs, you move that tab to the front. So I moved it down. I looked up at him and I says, is this good? And he said, yeah. So that was good. He thanked me. He said, how much do I owe you? I says, nothing. He said he had 50 accounts. I said, I know a lot of people can start out with just push mower. You work up into a rider and then eventually a zero turn. So I think he's on the right track, starting out small. So he had other issues with the mower. I showed him what the deal was, but the thing started, and I brought the RPMs down. What had happened basically is he changed carburetors from an automatic choke to a primer system. He had this breather blocked off. So as he was getting the other machine on the ground, I took the cap off and a bunch of pressure vacuum pulled into it. I says, you got to remove the screw here. I said, your tank isn't breathing. I says, does it stall out after about 10 minutes? He says, yeah. I says, well, this is your issue. The tank can't breathe. Remove that screw out of this tube. So I think I gave him a lot of free advice, helped him out, made an adjustment. It took me 10 minutes. I gave him my business card, so we'll see what happens. No harm, no foul. So had lunch with my son. We were out at Stottlemyre Barbecue on Fruitville Road. The sign says, voted best barbecue in Sarasota County. I don't know if the cook voted it the best barbecue or if it was actually a newspaper poll. I kind of giggle at that when I see those signs, voted best. Well, who did the voting? Was it your wait staff, your waitresses and wait staff? Okay, I'm going to get busy. I got a container for the old gas. Oh, that's tightening. That's no good. My DeWalt's getting a little tired. I'm going to have to plug this thing in. Yeah. I think I can get the job done, though, with the juice I have left. So 8mm on the sheet metal, in here 7mm on the screw type. Like I said on the other first video, I like these baby 20s. They're easy to work on. You just got one safety brake cable. These carbs are easy to take off and clean. So this will be a good turnaround. Just if I do a Lawrence Carroll cleanup on the deck here, it'll be a 140 unit. A Lawrence Carroll Shine is one that looks like it just left the factory. You got to make it pretty. Pretty pays the bills. I think we got feels like a full tank of gas here. The O-ring and the keeper stayed on. I got to remove those for future use. Let's use my needle nose. Take off this clamp. Twisty a little bit. Break that seal. Yeah, we got a full tank. This tank is heavy. Okay. Some gas just poured out of the tube vent here. I just knocked off the breather plug. That one's actually plugged. Some have a hole in them, some are solid. This is a solid one. Okay, there was a little bit of debris that fell in my container, but it's just showing really old fuel, really yellowish. See if there's any water floating around. Yep, definitely big layer of water. I'll blast that out with some air, but let me show you. Oh yeah, you can really see it now. It's settled down. See all the big droplets? That whole big worm section is water. So not good. You get a big pile of that in your bowl, and I've been trying for years to make water burn. I just don't want to do it. Okay, let me put this plug back in. Okay, that's that. I got to remove these two. You can see they're a wider screw. Don't confuse those with the other ones, because you want the wider washer type down here to hold this thing. Okay, I got to grab my big flathead screwdriver. I try to remember everything. I grabbed the needle nose, didn't grab the screwdriver, so Tommy time is lacking. Mr. Cluck is not going to stand for it. He's going to get pissed if I keep screwing up. Little twist, got an air gap there. Finish it off. This looks kind of cruddy. I see water droplets in this as well. Yeah, you could see it now. See all the water droplets. 10% ethanol. Wrecking havoc again and again and again. And then again. So we'll blast this out really well and put it all back together. This is going to be a good one. This is a good batch that I got. We know the Toro's going to run with the carb clean. Fuel kill this one. I don't even know if I'll take the cartridge out. Ah, what the hell? Why not? We'll take the cartridge out. I use the little jet side here, flat head, and just pop off the cartridge like so. That jet's open, that one is too, but a lot of times you'll get build up inside. Yeah, see, there's a piece of snot there blocking the hole, so it wouldn't have ran tip top. Same thing there. There's a piece of snot blocking that bottom hole. So it's a good thing I separated. I was going to be a lazy ass and not do it. This thing would have been coughing and burping and you name it. So don't take shortcuts if you're a shade tree mechanic. Okay, we cleaned that out. A bunch of snot blew out of the tube. Now it's free and clear both sides. That's looking good. Okay. There's a little water pooling in that cavity there, so there may be some blockage. I'm going to take a wire and stick it in and try to loosen that up and then blast some air down there, but we got a blockage on this side. So let me get a wire to stick it in. Usually you see that with no air filter or dirty air filter, most likely with no air filter. We had one here, but it had shrunk about 10% and it was kind of dirty. So I got two types of wires, a bread wrapper style and a thicker gauge. Let me put the thicker gauge in there. Okay, nothing there. So let me go to the top with the thin wire. Stick it down in there. Try to break what's plugging it up. Or maybe since it's a 300E, there's no hole drilled here. I don't feel a hole. This thing might be sealed. Looking at the cartridge, which side goes there. Not that side. That side does, and it's looks like it's open on the cartridge. Little experiment. Stick this wire down. Yep, it kind of opens up in there, so air does travel through here, goes into that cavity. So we gotta still poke around, unless this is a standard cartridge. Okay, I just blasted the water out of it. There is a hole down there. So let me kind of get in the sun, poke it. Okay, I bottomed it out with the wire. One more time with the thicker wire in here. Kind of measure with my thumb how much it goes in, then bring it out, see where it went. And it does go past the hole, so I know I'm clearing the area. I'm just going to be overly cautious and get some nitro carb cleaner and put it in there and see if we got it leaking out through that tube. So let me get nitro. Went to Tractor Supply with my son since we were next door to the barbecue place. Their brand of oil and lubricants and whatnot is called the Traveler brand. They market their own stuff, so I picked up some of their carb cleaner. We'll test this one out in a future video. Tractor Supply, Brentwood, Tennessee, made in USA, highly flammable, do not puncture, not for sale in California, IA. You can't buy nothing in California. They don't want gas-powered lawnmowers anymore. They don't want you breathing. Okay, that spray I just sprayed in is still pooling. Maybe we're dealing with a standardized cartridge. Using the bigger wire, top and bottom. It's taking me more time messing with the carb than it was taking the whole stupid thing apart. I'm going to call it good and put it all back together again. Oh, I see what happened. My little white plastic Venturi type thing just got popped out when I put in the center cartridge. So that only goes in one way. There's a groove here and a slot. You can't screw it up. That little opening is for this. Looks like that when you put it together. This thing here sticks up through the hole. So sometimes these things don't go in all the way. They'll go in halfway. You can't get the cartridge in. Just check this. Make sure it's lined up right. I've had that happen before. This thing hasn't gone in right. Okay. Something like that. Look through here. I see the openings where it should be. Now my cartridge is going to fit. I'm going to hold the other end with my finger so it doesn't dance around. And then you see the little tip of the cartridge there. Okay. Time for the O-ring, then the white keeper. We'll put the bowl back on. I blasted that off. Grab the right screws with the washer. See, this bowl's going on very tight. That's what you want. We had an aftermarket carb we worked on a few weeks ago, and the bowl was just dancing around. It ended up leaking. I had to take it off, search out another O-ring, or actually think I just changed the whole bowl. I had a OEM bowl with a good gasket. So that was a cheap Chinese aftermarket thing, and they got cheap on the O-ring, didn't make it fat enough, and it leaked. I like to hand tighten the plastic stuff. It's easy to strip. Who's coming in? Southwest is bringing fine people to Southwest Florida to enjoy a week's vacation. I don't blame them. Let's put you back up. This popped off again. Let's put it on one last time. Okay. Yeah, I think we got to blast the tank out. I want to do that, get any remaining moisture. So this guy that showed up, the landscaping guy, he's going to have to learn how to work on his own stuff. He said he had taken it to a local repair shop when he first got it. He had bought the machine at a pawn shop. It wasn't running right, and he brought it to them. And he said it took him a while to fix. And he probably paid a lot. Those shops are getting $100 an hour, dealer shops. That really cuts into your profit when you got to keep running the machine down to the repair shop. The stuff here, some basic tools, you can fix your own equipment. You more or less have to. Maybe he's just starting out and has no mechanical skills, but you got to learn them fast in that trade. You get a breakdown during your day, and you got to deal with it. The grass keeps growing. The customers don't give a crap that you're broken down. Their homeowners associations are bitching the grass is too high. They want the work done. You know what I mean? And it's so competitive that if you can't do the job, there's always somebody else roaming the neighborhood with flyers trying to get business. A lot of these guys just get business by appearance. What I mean by that, if your neighbor's got a crew, you see they're doing a good job, you see Bubba's landscaping there once a week, guys are doing a good job making it look pretty. Pretty soon you talk to Mildred and you say, are you happy with the service? She says yes. You get the phone number, or you get the number yourself off their truck, and then you call Bubba yourself and say, hey, you're doing my neighbors, would you mind doing mine? And Bubba loves that. There's a crew that does two on my street. It's maybe three houses apart, something like that. They just park and they service both yards from one parked position. Just ride the zero turn down the street a couple of houses and they're at their next job. So landscapers love that. They don't love doing a job and then traveling 10 miles to the next job. That's no good. Getting 15 miles to the gallon and you're traveling in the industry, windshield time, more driving, no worky. And then the next day you go to another part of town, maybe have 10 lawns to do there, make it logistically beneficial to you. Okay, so the backing plate's on. Let's get some gas in here. Then we're going to put the recoil on. I got about a gallon of Wawa non-ethanol here. I might have to stop in and see those fine folks. Okay, that's enough. It's covering the bottom of the tank. Spilled a little bit for good measure. So this thing was outside. You see the big rust ring there. Water just got through the recoil and sat in there. I mentioned this in the other video on the steel cups. Why don't they have a couple of holes on either side to let this stupid thing drain out with the water? Let it pour out here and then onto the flywheel, make its way to the back. It just makes it a son of a bitch to get that nut off with all that rust. You know what I mean? See, what do we got? 1/2 inch on these 4 head bolts. Why don't I do that while I have some room? Get a 1/2 inch socket. What else can we do? I see a little buildup on the flywheel. Maybe sand that off. I need a clip for the bail bar so I can move the flywheel while I'm doing that. We got things to do. here at Tommy Time. First things first, 1/2 inch on the head bolts. Just give those a snug. The machine's not very old, but I still like to check them. Okay, we got a half here that I think, no, it's not a half, it's a 10. What am I thinking? It's a 10 on that. Maybe I'm thinking quantum. A quantum's 10 on the head bolts. I got quantum on the brain. Let me get a 10. We do have a 10. Sorry about that. Maybe I've been in the sun too long today. So I'll just start up at this corner. Okay, that was tight. Come down to the opposite corner. Tight. Up here. Didn't budge, and then down. And that one was fine, so we didn't have to do anything. Where's my clip? We're all over the place. I gotta lube up the cables a little tight. Got some surface rust, a lot of corrosion on the aluminum. A lot of corrosion. Let me put some air to this thing. Okay, I'm gonna get my oil can and just put a couple of drops of oil on that tin, just so the next guy has a little easier getting the 3/8 millimeter screws off. Okay. Since I got my oil can maintenance time, put a little oil here. Here's my spring hook. I'm going to squirt it into that hole a little bit right there. You can see all the rust on the white plastic from that water, rainwater sitting in there. Okay, that should extend its life 45 seconds. Okay, it's got a champion plug. Looks like the original plug. Where's my impact? We'll impact this since it's metal on metal. And oil was good on this. The oil was fresh and clean. So I brought out a filter, I think. It's somewhere. Where did it go? Where did it go? I might have to borrow one from another machine. We'll do that. So if this starts, I'll do some touch-up, valve cover, gasket, spray paint that, clean up the deck, clean up that with some cleaner. Let's lower this down and see what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. I have a 95% bet that this will start. I'm really putting money on this one. It's not 80, it's 95%. Oh, Mr. Snake, he bailed on me. Okay, we're going to prime it and go. 2019. I didn't give you the model number on this one. It's the 11 Alpha Dash 02 Bravo Tango 729. That 729 sounds familiar. We've worked on that model before. 2019 model year. Made in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. Them people know how to make mowers. Okay, let's go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Start and stall. Those aren't good odds. What's happening here? Okay, initial hiccup on the first pull, primed it again. That must have made it happy. It fired off. So extremely happy with the baby 20. A little carb cleany clean. New filter. Somebody let it sit. The gas staled out, watered out. The water pool kind of increased here. It settled out some more and all went to the bottom corner. That's a lot of water. You could see that. Yeah, you could see it. Holy crap, it's a lot of water. A lot of that debris was from the container before. I had done an oil change with this. It's the fastest thing I could grab, so we know it's water anyway. Old gas with water. Okay, that one's done. What we'll do is shift over to this, I think it's 2009. Yeah, 09. We'll do that one next. Carby, blade was fine, overfilled on the oil. You remember that. I may patch this up with some AB compound, the Kafooter, and spray paint it. Yeah, way overfilled. Spray paint this black, and this is the one that's showing the cloudy tank. I could take some spray paint and paint this. It would protect the plastic and make it look more uniform in color. So this is going to be the next one on the bench. Stay tuned. As always, tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job. Had a nice meal at Stottlemyre Barbecue, Fruitville Road, Sarasota, Florida. Live music. It's outdoor seating. basically, I don't think they have a dining room. It's outside. It was a couple with their labs, dog friendly, nice place. Stottlemyre Barbecue, Fruitville Road, Sarasota, FLA. You guys have a good day. Adios, amigos.